Hello everyone, Vince here, back again with more faulty products. So we're doing a little bit of a bush job lot today, well these two items anyway. We're going to be looking at this little clock radio and we're going to be looking at this little speaker here. This one's down as no power and this one is down as currently signal Bluetooth something or other, not too sure. But anyway, they both don't appear to be doing anything. So let's see by the end of the video if we can get them both working. Let's get straight into it. Now these are both customer returns and they're from Argos. So what should we start with? I think we're going to start with this one here. I always like a no power. Now they look like new products, but they might have been in use for a few weeks or months. So this was returned, this was purchased May 23. So a couple of years ago now, but I would have probably had these here for about a year. Right, what we got at the back here, it says DC in 5 volts, 1.5 amp. Let's see what it says on here. Output 5 volts, 1.5 amp, center pin positive. Does it say here what it is? Center pin positive. So we've definitely got the right lead power cable. Let's see if we do have 5 volts here. We do, 5.2. But yet when we plug it in here, because I did this earlier, nothing happens. So, nothing's happening when I press standby. I presume it should just automatically come on when you plug this in because it is a clock radio. I'm just going to plug this in, see if we have any life out of the USB. We do. Interesting. I wonder, can we charge anything up from the USB? Yes. Right, okay, I won't do that for very long because I don't want to blow it because this is, you know, this charges pretty quick, it takes a lot of power in. Right, okay, so that's working. I wonder, could it just be a power button that's not working then? Because there's definitely power getting into it. Let's undo the screws at the back. We have 4 crossheads, so I'm going to use my special screwdriver, which seems to do everything. And it does this as well. There we go. Well, what do you see straight away? I promise you this video is not fake, but I do wonder if that's happened for a reason. Because I can see some sort of brown marks down here, and that's been unplugged. I mean, listen, it might have happened in shipping. It may be in the factory it wasn't plugged in very good. But yeah, that seems a bit odd. I'm wondering whether something's happened to this and then they've unplugged it because it's easier than owning up to what actually happened. Let's see if suddenly it starts working when we plug this in. I promise you I have bought these things as returns and I haven't tampered with them. Well, there we go. Okay. Let me see if I can scan. While it's doing that, I'll pop the screws back in because I think it's all going to be, I think it's going to be okay. Why on earth that would have come out? Really, really odd. Just trying to find a channel that will have speaking.
Be the parent.
There we go.
Or give them to somebody else who can be the parent. Don't expect other people to, don't blame somebody else.
So you've got volume there. You also have a little symbol up here for volumes. That's nice. That little volume symbol stays on all the time.
For one reason or another. We have
like
to treat
that.
them as children still, don't we? We don't criminalise them early.
No, you've got to give them a childhood. You know, the fact that I never relied on the welfare state for my children, it was never in my mindset. I had times.
This is so weird. I fixed another radio recently and they were on about the same thing on LBC then as they are now. It's like the time stood still. So that's FM. Yeah, there we go. You can tune there. Does it keep the time? Yeah, perfect. All right, really, really odd there. That looks like that fault was man-made, but clearly it wasn't. Unless, do you know what? It still could be man-made, because you know what it could be? Maybe they bought it, they just didn't like it. And rather than going back and saying they didn't like it, because maybe they'd be funny about getting a return, it's easy, isn't it, to undo 4 screws, pop out that power thing, and put it down as no power, because then 100% you're going to get your refunds. I'm sure if I brought that down to cash converter, I get a few pound for that, or £5 or something. And I'd be happy selling that. Or meeting up that as well, it makes it easier to sell. There we go. Right, it's not in Argos anymore, but I found it on Amazon for £26.99. So it's believable somebody might pay £13 for it. And that means then I could probably sell it maybe for £6 or £7, which is all right for undoing 4 screws. Now another thing which is all right is the sponsor of today's video, PCB Way. PCB Way is your one-stop solution for all things PCB fabrication and assembly. From rapid prototyping to full-scale production, PCB Way delivers top quality products. So whether you're a seasoned engineer or a hobbyist just starting out, PCB Way's user-friendly interface makes ordering your own custom PCBs very easy. And PCB Way do a variety of different services, including but not limited to assembling your PCBs, CNC machining, 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication, and injection moulding. So when you're ready to take your designs to the next level, look no further than PCB Way and bring your ideas to life. So as always, a massive thank you to PCB Way for sponsoring the My Mate Vince channel. Now let's get back to the video. Now let's have a look at this one here. USB port stuck. Acorn Bluetooth speaker black. Cutting signal Bluetooth? I'm not too sure. Oh, cutting signal and Bluetooth maybe. Right, okay. Let's see what's going on here. USB port stuck. USB port has been glued. So this is the charging port here. And can you see that that's been glued? Right, so I don't think there's going to be any fixing that. We're going to have to take it apart. Maybe see if we can solder in a new port. Yeah, that looks like it's been glued right the way down in there. Okay, how do you come apart? To me, it looks like possibly it's already been apart. Can you see here? It looks like this has been peeled. It looks like that's been peeled up. Okay, they've been quite clever. They've only peeled it off at the corners there. So let me do the same. I'm glad I spotted that because I would have tried to peel back that whole thing. So it's quite clever just to actually take off the little bits like that. Now, is this going to come? That's going to come apart there. Oh, here we go. Oh no, that's no good. That is no good to me. So I don't think that made any difference. Oh, do you know what it is? I think it has maybe loosened those ones up to allow you to pull it all out from here. I wonder. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this back together nicely. I'm wondering, do they push out? I think they push out, you know. Oh yeah, they do. Oh wow, sorry, you do take it apart like that. Right, okay. So I can actually see that looks like super glue vapor, doesn't it? Let's undo this. Does this come out as well? Yes, this comes out. This all comes apart nicely. Another screw here. Good thing about Bush products are because they're very cheap and cheaply made, they normally come apart quite nicely. There's not a load of clips and glue and stuff everywhere. So often they can be more repairable because they've been built cheaply. So I'm going to somehow have to try to get this out here. Whoa. Okay, well that's annoying. I left that in here because it's been glued. I've left the port in here. I presume the pads are going to be completely messed up. No, maybe not. I might have got away with that, but I need to take that out so I can see what port it is. And also I need to be able to get the new one in here. Been well and truly glued in. There we go. Excellent, that worked. Right, let's zoom in now. So I think I'll be able to get another one in there all right. So that's it there. The pins were here. So now let's have a look here. What we got? We got glue on here as well. Shall we see if the solder will burn the glue off? So I presume Bluetooth was cutting out because it stopped charging. And it stopped charging because the USB port is mashed up. Now, can I burn that off or not? So I've got super glue stuck all on here. I'm just wondering if the solder will be hot enough to burn it. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Right, I better not breathe those fumes in. Let me get some solder wick. Hopefully I can wick up the solder and the glue. I'm going to add some flux to help it all flow. Oh, it stinks. Not sure if that's super glue or something else. Just going to get my extractor fan on. So apologies for the noise. I think that's off. I'm going to clean it with some isopropyl alcohol. I love it when it's a horrible mess like that and then you get the isopropyl on it and you can just see all the burning mess come off and you're just left with lovely clean pads. There's something so nice and satisfying with clean pads. Okay, so we've got a rip pad just here. Can you see here? Going off to that one there, which is that leg there. So what I need a surface mount one. So it's going to have a ground plane here, here. It looks like we have two little support ones just here. Is that still bits of solder left? Oh, that's the remains of the wires, isn't it? But they're not going to anywhere on this side. Right, okay. So it looks like they're going to have some sort of legs going down here and here. Let me have a look in my box, see what I've got, see if anything's suitable. And then we're going to have to run a new wire from that little pad there, or maybe even this leg. Or that cap there. Now hold on a minute. What went here? Why have we got two wires here? What went here? What does it say that side? Battery. Battery. Oh. Oh, hold on a minute. Somebody's nicked the battery out of here. What? Sorry, I wasn't even thinking it's a Bluetooth speaker. There's no, we haven't got a battery. Uh-oh. Oh no, so somebody's opened it up and pitched a battery out, which was probably stuck on here. Oh no. I didn't even think about the battery. I just want to double check up here. I'm sure it's just going to be the speaker, but just in case there's something hidden somewhere. No, so that's just a speaker there. Yep, so somebody has taken a battery out of it. Ah. Right, you know the leg that's ripped off and I said it was going to the chip? Well, on that chip it's marked up LTH7 because I wanted to see, you know, I don't actually know what this battery is. I presume it's lithium, but I don't know. Also, I don't know if the battery would have a protection board on it. Maybe the charging board is built into the battery. So I was wondering if this chip possibly does the charging. And it's LTH7, and if you have a look it says lithium battery charger or lithium ion battery charger. Lithium battery charging IC. So if we were to find a little lithium battery, I think maybe it's, you know, we might be able to get this back to life. But just showing you how something like this is worthless, look at the price of them if I was to trade this into CEX. Are you ready? What do you think? What do you think you'd get for it if you were to trade it in? Well, put it this way, you can buy it for £5, trade in for £1.90 or £1.20 cash. So you can see how, forget about is it fixable or not, it's not worth fixing. But I am, excuse me, my chair keeps on making noises every time every time I move. Trust me, I promise it's my chair. Yeah, so basically if I had to buy a port for this and buy a new battery, there's absolutely no way anybody would do that. Even if you were to keep it for yourself, you probably wouldn't do it because you can buy one from CEX working with, I think they have a 5-year guarantee now for £5. But if I've already got a USB port and if I can find any old battery, even if it's something this big, I think I'm going to pop it in here. Obviously for me, I make money from the videos, and often with me, it's not the price of the product. I might get as much enjoyment fixing this as I would do something where you could possibly sell and make £200. So, well, I don't think I've ever had anything like that. But, you know, something that you can sell and make £30 or £40. I personally might get as much enjoyment from something like this. But yeah, I know when it comes to cheap products like this, it's not worth fixing. So you don't have to put that down in the comment section. That's not what this channel's about. It's about repairing stuff for the enjoyment of repairing. Changing the port out and getting it to work again gives enjoyment. Much more than the £5 that it's worth. Well, I've got all my USB ports here, and annoyingly I don't think any of them actually fit. So what we're looking at is, we'll zoom in, I can't have like a lip coming out because it needs to fit through the hole on this back bit here. Yeah, so it can't have a lip. So if we have a look at these ones, some of them would almost be suitable, but then if you have a look, can you see there's like a kind of lip? So you can see the way it kicks out there, while the original one didn't. Actually, I think what I can do is, the one that doesn't have any fixings, I think I can bend those legs out, because if we have a look here at the one that came off, can you see it does look very similar? It's just that they're bent down. And I don't think anything was sticking out the side anyway. So I think that's what we'll do, because you see with this one, I can bend those down, but then we've got the bit sticking out the front, so that's not suitable. So let's run with this one here, and let's bend these out. They bent easier than I thought they would. So maybe they're designed to come down like that. So I bend both bits down on both sides, and then they slot into the half cut wires on the little mini board here, and I need to solder it in. It's a bit fiddly because I'm trying to get the blue tack to hold it in place. If it had some nice anchor points, it would kind of keep itself in place, but I'm just trying to balance the front on to get some solder in. Annoyingly, I want to flood it with solder to give it a little bit more strength so it doesn't come zooming off again because of the lack of anchor points. And when I do that, I realise that I actually get some solder on the inside, which is irritating. So I've got to use some solder wick to try to get that bit out, which I'll show you now. Ah, Vince, I put way too much in. You can see it's flooded the inside there. I'll try to wick it out. I think I'm going to have to use another port. And it's wicking. Look at that. is wicking. Wow. Amazingly, I managed to get that out. Oh, crazy. Yay. I think that will be okay. The very fact it didn't come out there shows there's a bit of strength there. Let's solder up these here. Now, so this is a double one here. Let's cover them too. Remember, more solder the better because it will keep strength on here. But here I can only put a tiny bit on. Like that. And that one there is done. Now I've got to try to get solder onto here, which I've done. And we're going to run it to here. Right, let's get a tiny wire for that. Right, this is 0.3. So that will probably be quite a nice size for it. I'm just going to burn off the enamel. And while we're burning off the enamel and tinning it up, I'm going to try to do the My Mate Vince Massive in record time. Here we go. The members are Keemon Services, Kip Hakes on YouTube, Max Rokotansky, Chris Seal, Philippe, Mr. Keeps.com, DJ VG, Pigsy, Anthony Dean, Russ Medicine, Shigate, Ricard, Burglar, Soul Reaver 555, Shams Al Sawadi, Stuart Parks, Team from the Broken Past on YouTube, Lee Benz, Nile Sloan, Operation 117, AJ Computer Services UK. Many thanks. Beat that. Try and beat that. That was amazing. Should be a rapper. And without blowing my own trumpet, I have got bad hay fever at the moment. So I'm going to try to tap it to here. Problem with all the fluxes, I just can't see what's happening. Also, the pin's quite sunk in. Must have melted by now, surely. I think it's on there, but I don't actually know. I don't think it is on. I think it's just a flux that's burnt, and I think it's the flux that's sticking. That's not on. Right, okay, let's try that again. Maybe. I'm going to clean it and then I'll see if it's stuck. You're all thinking I should buy some new tweezers, aren't you? I knew it. I knew that's what you were thinking. Right, it definitely has stuck. So you can see there's a massive dollop there. That's not going anywhere. Huge dollop there and there. So that's going to give it a little bit of mechanical strength. And you can see that that little one is on there. That little one's on there. And you can definitely see that that's soldered onto the end there. And it's not shortened against anything, and it goes to here. So actually that should now be working. It's going to have more strength when it's in the case. But I think that's going to work okay. Right, let me plug it in, see if we have any lights coming up, and then I think we've got to see if there's if I can take a battery from anywhere. Obviously I'll be able to buy one. I'm not going to spend any money on this. So let's get our thing here. Let's see if we can power it. So we have a red light, which I presume means charging. Now it's gone out. So it's not detecting the battery. So I don't think this is a sort of thing that will work without a battery. But I can't hear any sound. You know, some things need a battery to work. Oh, there we go. Did you hear that? Let me connect it to my phone and see if it will work as a plug-in speaker. It attempted to say Bluetooth. Yeah, Bush, it's here. Bush WJ201. I think it's connected. Oh, it says can't connect. Hold on. Let's try that again. Oh, it's gone off.
Bluetooth. Bluetooth connected.
Yeah, it's connected to my phone. No, but it's gone off again. Yeah, so I think it does, unless it keeps cutting out. Do you know what? I think when the battery is completely flat, it must keep cutting out. So I don't think it's going to work without a battery. And that was what the original fault said. It said Bluetooth, cutting signal on the Bluetooth. Let me see if I can find some sort of battery just to get some life out of this. Right, now I'm going to have a stack of batteries, you know, somewhere. It's just how many boxes do I want to pull apart. From memory, this is a fake PlayStation 4 controller. Looks nice though, doesn't it? And I had two of them. I was given they both didn't work, bought them as faulty. I was given the updates for them via the comments section, and one updated fine and was workable, and the other one didn't. I'm pretty sure this is the one that didn't update. So it looks like a PlayStation 4 controller on the outside, but it's fake. The inside is not. And when Sony did an update, it stopped these ones from working. Let me see. Well, do you know what? Does that or does that not look like a nice little battery? And we also looks like we have a little protection board on it. So I wonder, would this be even better to use? So let's dip them one at a time so we don't short anything. And let's try to take it off here. This will be completely flat because it hasn't been touched in ages. Do you know what? I think that, look at that. I think that might be made for this. Right now, come on. Please be something. Please be like 2.8 volts or something. Oh, now, is that because there's a protection board on here and it's not allowing anything through? Maybe I have to charge it to get power out. Tell you what we'll do, let's just quickly tap the wires on. I'm presuming that one's going to be positive. I'm just going to have a look through, see if there's anything on the board. Now I can't see anything, I presume it's going to be positive. Let's just temporarily tap it on, see if it comes alive. So we've got battery positive there. So let's just put a lump of solder on there. It's going to be going there. This is only temporary, I will put on the other side when if it starts working. Right, let's see now, is it going to draw anything? Are we going to get power in that battery? Is it going to go bang? Maybe I have to get rid of the battery protection board. Maybe that's going to confuse the charging chip here. You know, maybe that chip is the thing that's doing the protection. Here we go. Excellent, it's drawing something. Brilliant. Should we see what the voltage is now? Whoa, that's hot, that's hot, that's hot, that's red hot. Wow. That charge chip is ridiculously hot. Well, let's see if there's any battery thingy in here now. That didn't feel right, that felt too hot. We've got 3.1 volts now. Let me just double check that I've got it on the right way round. So if I put the red to red, is it reading correct? Yeah, it's holding voltage there. So it looks like the battery itself is okay. Should I be brave? I mean, it was only 0.2. It was only 0.2, wasn't it? It's a 200 milliamps. Let me just see. Let's try that again. It's getting hot. Let's get the flare cam on, see how hot it's getting. And you can see it burning away there. $70 degrees. That's very hot, isn't it? Doesn't seem right. See, if you didn't touch that and you didn't have a flare cam, you'd be just blissfully unaware that that's at 80 degrees right now. Just can't see that chip lasting very long at that heat. Let me see, is it actually charging? I mean, if it blows up, I can always buy another chip, but I don't think I'm going to waste time on this one. Let's see if it's growing. Yeah, so it's definitely growing. So it is charging. And it's not charging at a ridiculously high amount, you know? I mean, that looks quite low, doesn't it? Yeah, it's definitely charging. Right, let's unplug that. And let's see what we got here.
Bluetooth.
Yeah, you see
Bluetooth connected.
You see it's grown.
Control toy car thing.
I can hear statistics!
Very kindly sent into my PO box. And Andy. And
I started playing the video last time.
And Dave. We hope this finds you well. Here is a remote control vehicle.
There you go.
To do anything.
But it's working.
The remote control has a light on it, but the vehicle shows no signs of life. We thought it could be a fun fix for you. Best wishes, Adele and Andy. So thank you very much for sending it over to me. Let's see if it's going to be fun, shall we?
Right.
I think the first thing we have to do,
so clearly it is working, and my USB port's working, and it's managed to take a tiny bit of charge, and we have a blue light there. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back together, and I will leave it charging, and we'll see if it goes on fire or not. Maybe I'll leave it charging outside, and yeah, I'll leave it up to the comment section. Is 80 degrees Celsius? It was Celsius, wasn't it? I need to watch back the video. Yes, it was. It was 80 degrees Celsius. Is that way too hot for a little chip like that? I would say yes. But as far as I know, I haven't shorted anything around there. You know, that all looks good. I haven't shorted anything from there. So, yeah, okay. I'm going to solder that on properly. I'm going to get rid of the wires from here. Let's see if it turns off. Yes, it does. Okay. So I solder it on properly on the other side of the board using the little through holes, and then I put it all back together. And then I bring it outside to charge, because I don't want to charge it inside because I'm really worried about this chip. Now, while I'm editing, I thought, you know what, let's look up the data sheet of this chip. So that's what I'm going to show you now. All I'm doing in this part of the video is putting it all back together. It's a bit of a squeeze because I'm not sure if the original battery would have had the battery protection board, but I just about managed to squeeze it in and then do up the 4 screws. It goes together nicely enough. Ideally, the battery should be maybe about 4 or 5 mil smaller, and then it would fit in an absolute treat. But as it is, it was a little bit of a squeeze. But let me show you this data sheet, because you remember it was operating at about 70-ish degrees Celsius up to 80 degrees Celsius with the FLIR cam. But remember, I don't know how accurate that is. Well, check out the data sheet. So you can see it clearly says here LTH7, but I think it's also known as LTC4054. And then when I go down here, it gives me the data sheet of this one here, LTC4054. And what's interesting is that if you have a look here, it has the maximum junction temperature at 125 degrees Celsius, and the operating ambient temperature range is -40 degrees to 85 Celsius. So we were getting 70 something with the FLIR cam all the way up to 80. So maybe it is well within normal range, because it does say here it's guaranteed to meet performance specifications from 0 degrees Celsius to 70 degrees Celsius. And it does say here thermal limiting. An internal thermal feedback loop reduces the programmed charge current if the die, which I think is the chip, temperature attempts to rise above a preset value of approximately 120 degrees Celsius. And the thermal considerations, it says that basically we need to have the ground lead to the copper in the board, and the PC board copper is the heatsink. So the footprint copper pad should be as wide as possible and expand out to a larger copper area to spread and dissipate the heat to the surrounding ambient. So basically I'm thinking that the board's so small, there's probably not much heat sink there, but the lead that we fixed earlier, remember there was a pad that was removed, that is the actual voltage in from the USB, so I haven't touched the ground. So this has been designed as it is. That input that I did is nothing to do with the actual ground, so it's still got the original ground. So maybe to reduce the temperature, you could run a wire from the ground and you know, I don't know, have a little bit of copper or something to try to sink the heat away, or maybe even you could just put a little heat sink on top of the chip to get rid of the heat. But I'm not the board designer, and it's been designed like this. I haven't messed with the ground plane, so I'm personally going to leave it as it is. I know because the chip's so small, if I put a heatsink on there, realistically, it's going to just pop straight off again, because I've had it before where I've tried to glue them on. And if it was a very big chip, maybe they would stick. But on something this small, I know the weight of the heatsink is just going to come straight off again. So that's all I'm thinking, is that if it was a bigger board, there'd be more thermal mass to get rid of the heat. I think this is personally operating pretty much on the limit of, I don't think the chip's going to last very long. I think it's probably operating near the top of the limit. But anyway, it is within spec, so I'm going to leave it as it is. But interesting, I would have thought that that chip was faulty. But I've charged this up and it's charging just fine. So let's cut now to outside to show you where it's charging, and then I leave it for a while, go back, I can see that the amperage draw is dropping, and then it drops all the way to 0. So clearly it has actually worked just fine. Right, it's been about 45 minutes later, it still hasn't gone up in flames, and the amperage is going down, so it seems like it's charging properly. So what will happen is that should eventually go to 0, and then it will stop charging. So it looks like the more charges going into it, the lower that is getting. So that seems completely normal, and I still can't feel any heat. Check it out, it's stopped its charging. So yeah, and there you go, when I turn it back on, 0.02. So basically, as the voltage climbs on this, the amps will go down. So it looks like that little chip has performed what it needs to do. Well, there we have it. One fully charged up Bush little Bluetooth speaker and a clock radio. This one's definitely been tampered with. That wouldn't come loose like that through shipping or anything. And I don't think so anyway. Possible in the factory if they left it just barely connected and it was making a contact when it went through quality control, then it got knocked off in shipping. But I think somebody's been tampering there. And this one, interesting one. Not quite sure what happened here. I think the original one had tried to sort of damage the port and glue it. Then it got sent, it got in a return pallet, and I think somebody's taken the battery out of it. Is it going to keep on working? Not too sure. I'm looking forward to reading the comment section to find out about that little chip. So there we go. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. I'm going to play you out now with some music on this here. It's got a fair bit of volume to it. To be fair, for £5 from CEX, I think, yeah, I'm sure a kid would quite enjoy that. Right, here we go. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you very soon.
A little different than all the rest. I'm quite old-fashioned where I had sometimes played chess. And when I'm out, I'm looking for that vintage fling. But all complexions that I adore, so hard to find, these seem impossible to score. So I dream of
Fair play, it sounds pretty good.
vintage love. I kept on looking, but everyone's such a bore. And out of a sudden, you came through the door. At the next table, you're whisking me. The lights were dim, there's alright.